Welcome to Alpha Proto. I'm Alpha Proto, and today I would like to work on Veil's standing low kicks, standing light kicks, Veil's standing light kick. But first, I would like to wait. Let me do this. Music's too loud for me right now. I would like to show how my Darkstalker's entry turned out in the end, because I think I even said this last stream. I said it would be weird if I started it and then showed the whole process and just ended up with a finished piece. And yeah, I guess that's what happened, because it was due on, what is today? It's due on the 4th, or was it the 3rd? And I was like, does it have to, I think I had a note. No, I don't have a note on it, but let's just say the 4th. It was due on the 4th, but I turned it in on the 4th. And I was like, wait, hold on a second. Is it due on the 4th or by the 4th? So I was gonna go to sleep right after the stream ended, when the last stream. I was like, no, I need to get this in now, because it would be a shame if I did all these hours of work and it didn't even get submitted. So I stayed up, and here's what I ended up doing. All right, the border. I took this border and oh, come on, don't do that. Let me grab something. This? No. Yeah, this works. This border is the same 2D picture. I just used the emboss tool to make it pop out more. I had to take it to Photoshop. There's some things I don't know how to do in Clip Studio Paint and Photoshop. I know my way around Photoshop after years of working in it. So what did I do? What else? Okay, so this is the frame that I've worked with. I made this. Let me zoom out. It's decent. All right. Added this gradient, and I added a glow around. Whoa. Glow effect around them to pop out against the dark background. This is the shading layer. This is the highlight. Oh wow, there's 2 different highlights. Oh, that's what happened. Okay, this was the highlight. Okay, and I used kind of a slightly tinted yellow for that. So I took that layer. Let me take all this away so you can see it better. I'll take this way too. I took this and I copied it and added a Gaussian blur to it. This is the Gaussian blur by itself. This is highlights without it. Really makes it, it's like a bloom effect that they have in video games and movies and stuff. But yeah, I used a glow on the flat layers. Outer glow. If you right click on the side of a layer, this function pops up, and then I picked outer glow and I made it purple. And this is the opacity I chose. It's just easier to apply the special effects to the layers in Photoshop. It's more accessible to me. If I was going to do this in Clip Studio, I'm not sure where to go, and I think that even for the for example, for the clouds that I made, not these. Right, this here, this texture. I think this is a texture, but they could be miniature cloud feature because they have a cloud feature. Or is it this? Let me look at these layers. Well, that's an overlay. Yeah, I thought about putting a grain over everything. Just to give it a texture, and then you set it up to overlay in. These flat colors. See the texture difference. But yeah, the grain is the same thing as clouds. I mean, rendering a grain is the same thing as rendering clouds. Except the clouds are bigger particles of grain, apparently. That's in Clip Studio. But yeah, all these layers, they really come together and form a full picture. I'm glad I added the frame. Someone compared it to a Yu-Gi-Oh card or something, and I was like, yeah, if you printed this out as a card, probably put Darkstalkers around the middle and sell it. That'd be pretty cool. I'm all for that. But yeah, this is the end result of those few days. I didn't use a darker, I only used one tone of shadow. Sometimes I would go in with another one and hit the, darker areas. I may do that. If this gets selected and they're like, okay, turn in a high definition picture, I might add a little bit more shading. But I think that what I did really defines the forms of the characters really good. Because when it was just flat, it looked alright. But then I added the shading and the highlights, and that made them look even better. I just thought everybody needed closure on that if they were following the other streams. But today we are finally, after so many days of saying, okay, I'll work on this, and then I didn't, and then I just kept setting everything back so I could work on, let me close this. No, I was closing. Okay, it's kind of stalling now. But yeah, after all these days of saying I'm going to work on this, I'm finally working on Blazing World Stars. Again. Man, this is stalled, huh? I press enter a few times. Yeah, sometimes it asks you, would you like to save or something, and it doesn't pop up on the screen though, so it's like the computer freeze, and it's like, no, it's asking you if you want to continue, but you just don't see it. Yeah, this is the character we're working on. I'm going to work on some kicks. So we're gonna work with some sketches. Oh, I better check the chat if there is a chat. All right, just 3 people watching. Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm glad you stuck around while I was talking about the Morgan picture. Morgan and Lilith picture. I'm gonna talk about it a little bit more. The reason I do fan art, and I think that's a good reason to do fan art, is to get my artwork to a larger fan base. There may be fans of the property, there's usually a fan of the property. And that fan base could leak over to someone in that fan base could see your art and say, hey, I like your art. Do you have any more of this? And then they go look at your art and they're like, well, these are different characters, but I like the way you make the art or the way it looks. So I'll stick around to see what else you'll make. Or they'll say, hey, I like your work. Can you make me work? So that's an advantage of doing fan art. Okay, what I've done is I duplicated this layer. I mean, this frame. And yeah, it's probably better to work at 100%. I duplicated this by pressing this new frame plus button. New frame plus, okay. And this is the onion skin option where you can see the previous frame. I'm going to use black. Usually I block this in with, I should probably block it in with a brighter color, but I'll replace it later. That's what I usually do. Because black gets a little, well, most of the character is, these characters do have a black outline, so if they have a black outline anyway, I'll just change it from black later. But yeah, fan art's good to get attention from other people, get your work out there. Alright, got Ash Crimson here as a reference. So I think that this, let's just imitate this keyframe. We don't really need these. We just need the pose. So I'm going to try to, don't know if I'm going to redraw this head or, yeah, I probably will. But let's just work on the sketch part. So I have it on Pixel Perfect. If I didn't have it on Pixel Perfect, the lines would step a little more. And this is the sketching phase, so there's going to be a lot of drawing and moving things around. Okay, this arm's going to go up a little bit. One thing I'm really worried about, concerned about with the keyframes is keeping the proportions and sizes of everything in check as they move around. Okay. Thumbs on the hip. Finger's probably too small. So I'm going to spend most of my time on perfecting these frames. Then the in-betweens will be a little faster. So he's got to turn to the sides. The head's probably gonna, this leg's gonna bend as it supports and kicks, so one thing to keep proportions, I kind of try to line everything up and just reposition them a little bit. I kind of slide things to the left or right to show that something is turning. So I do want this head to move down a little bit as he kicks, but I want to show that it turned to the right, you know, because this is kind of profile, so I guess I will turn the head here. And then I'll move it down afterward. Not too sure about how much of a snout. It doesn't look like much. But yeah, that looks like it's turned. Oh, hi. Spear Rocket says, yo, Spear Rocket. Derwin Castillo says, kudo, amazing work. Thank you. Kaz42 says, hello, here's the Digivolution of Dragonic. That Morgan picture looked like wallpaper from the 2000s. I think that's good. So I haven't been keeping up with the lore here. What are you doing and how you been, man? I've been going to the I finally went to the doctor. I got a checkup and I got health insurance. This is the first time I've had health insurance. Well, the last time I had health insurance was because of mandate, but I never used health insurance because I didn't know how to find a doctor or do anything. You know, I didn't know anything about going to the doctor or finding a doctor. So I got health insurance and I was like, okay, I've been sick. It was mainly because I was kind of scared because of, you know, COVID's going around. I mean, everybody calls it COVID. I want to say coronavirus. The coronavirus was going around and I want to be healthy as possible, but how can you be healthy as possible if you don't even see a doctor? And then I was working on Blazing Strike and, ooh, thank you. Scooty just gave me a turn sheet for veal. Right, but yeah, I was sitting in this chair for like 8 to 12 hours at a time working on Blazing Strike and my feet were swelling up and I was like, this isn't healthy, this isn't good. And I was kind of getting scared. So, and that actually did slow me down a bit because I would lay down just to get my blood circulation. Well, I'd walk around and I lay down and just move around to get my blood circulating better. But it scared me. I was like, why are my feet swelling? Do I have diabetes? Do I have a heart problem? What's up? So I was like, okay, I'm going to the doctor. So I got health insurance, which is weird. It's such a weird thing looking up health insurance because if you sign up for I went to, you know, I think gov health or whatever to search for a health insurance. And so I put in my information, like my email and my phone number, you know, and then the next day it's like, I got a call and I was like, oh, these are the people, you know, it's and better, the health people and better, you know, who are Superior Health Insurance. I think that's what they changed their name to, and they're the same thing. But they're like, yeah, you said you want insurance. So I'm like, yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, we have an insurance plan. I was like, well, I really don't have much money at all. I don't really have much of an income. And they were like, yeah, $2. You pay $2 a month. Can you do that? And I was like, yeah. And then they Turns out they jacked it up to $30 a month now. So I'm like, well, I guess I really got to make money now. But it didn't end there, because after that, I would get like 5 to 6 phone calls every day, constantly asking, would you like a health care? Would you like a health plan? I'm like, I have one. Leave me alone. Have one. Leave me alone. So once you put your name into the system, they're going to keep bothering you. It's kind of like when I signed up for the Art Institute, because, you know, I was graduating high school and I was like, you know, my plan was either go to the Art Institute or college or something. So that's what I did. I went to visit them before I graduated. Art Institute of Dallas. And the price was like really high. And they were like, oh yeah, well, you could get some grants and stuff. And I was like, is it a accredited school? And they're like, oh, I don't even know. I think they kind of talked around the accredited school thing. So I think I wanted to transfer the credits or something, but everything I heard about Art Institute was teachers, they work in the industry, but they don't really help you. They just stand around and tell you to do assignments, and if you need help, ask for help. I was like, oh, that's not very convenient. I'm not sure I want that. But for years they would call me. I finally answered the phone and stayed on the phone with them. And they were like, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I have money. And then they like said, okay, we're going to transfer you to somebody else. And you could tell it was like the older guy who had experience like hard selling to people. He was like, why are you on this phone? Why are you call here? Why you do what? And I was like, you called me. I just wanted some information. But yeah, I was on the phone for like, it felt like 4 hours, but it's probably like 1 hour. Just getting berated by people. Go to our school, go to our school. No, I didn't. Oh well. I went to University of Texas in Arlington instead. UTA. Uta. I knew a girl named Uta. She was a German exchange student. But yeah, right now what we're doing is getting this keyframe down. I probably should have concentrated on the motion instead of the action. Sorry. But this is kind of my problem with when I animate. I overdo things. I should have just focused on the movement. Okay, head's moving down a little bit and forward. This leg's going to kick out. One thing about this design is I can't really tell where I'm assuming this is where the knees are, and these are digitigrade, but it's hard to really tell because these still look like regular feet and not toes, really. Because digitigrade would be like this. These would be the toes. This would be like the ankle part, and this would be the knee. But it's not really like that. It's kind of oh shoot. What is it called? Hose animation-y. So, I don't know. Gotta make sure this foot's the right size, so I guess I'll just trace this one and move it and then redraw it. Oh shoot. Sorry, sometimes I like using a Minnesota accent. Or is it like Canadian? Oh, shoot there, eh? I don't think Canadians say shoot. Oh, oh, doggone it. Yeah, about there. Like, raise. I'm waiting for the next musical track. I actually wish there were more tail attacks, Scooty. Character's got a tail and wings. I mean, this is it's an anthro character. Like, you gotta go for it. You gotta use the features, you know. Otherwise, it's just a human that looks like an animal. I mean, got tails and wings. Okay, I guess that's all of the Sonic music. So let's go to popular uploads by Demarcus 008. Play all. Spear Rocket says art schools usually end up being more of a scam since they aren't run on administrated by artists. Yeah, it's. I think that whole art institute thing. I think they did go under eventually. It just seemed like they got their money from recruiting people, not. It seems like their scam was recruiting, not really teaching. Like we get their money and then whatever. That's just what it felt like. Because I have run into people who said they went to the Arts Institute and it always seemed like they had a bad experience. It never felt like they had anything good to say. Actually, I should have brought the shoulder up too. Smurf, yeah. Welcome. If the phone number isn't saved in my phone, I don't answer or reply to text. Yeah, after a while, I had to block a whole lot of calls. I was like, I got the insurance, leave me alone. First day, first call. Sometimes it just everything feels like a scam. It just seems like everybody's trying to get your information from you. But one thing I've learned, my mother always told me was never give your social security out. They did end up asking for my social security number, and I was like, no, I'm not giving it. Sir. And the thing that told me they weren't a scam was like, they were like, okay, we don't need it. And I was like, they don't need it. All right. Let me move this over to the right a little bit more. Like it looks a little short, a little bit short. All right. I don't know. I'm not sketching at all. I really am trying to just get the drawing right off the bat. Trying to get it right for I won't have to make too many fixes later. One thing about walking animations and attacks, you always have to have one foot planted. A foot can slide over a little bit, but you can't have it move too much. So since this foot is in the air. This whole leg is in the air. This foot has to stay relatively in the same spot. It can turn, it just can't. Just can't move because all the weight's on it. Oh, there's a hook, a fin on the back of the, or is that a toe? Well, it's on both sides. So. Just three toes. Three toes. The shading on this character is different than Zon. It has dithering. I don't understand why this character has a different shading style. Just different artists, I guess. Artist interpretations. But dithering doesn't really work in bigger HD sprites. It works, but it's like, you could use more colors. Oh, here we go. Clash of the strongest arms. Hyper Dragon Ball Z OST. Goku versus Jiren. I personally would have used a different theme. Something based off of run. I think is that Ultra Instinct Doman music, I think, or is it a Jiren thing? It's hard to say. Alright, since this toe's closer to the camera, I guess that would be bigger. But original themes are always good. No copyright to worry about. Oh, it's Trap Productions here. Hello. Let me go back a little bit more. Spare Rocket says... Wait, did I read? Oh yeah, I read that. Spare Rocket says, yeah, that's how they do. They just try to get you into the program and work you like a dog. They give students far too much work. Sucked the passion out of them. This is why I'm a veteran. I've never looked to get insurance because I'm already covered. But it never really stops insurance companies from trying to call anyway. Yeah. My brother's, I think he actually worked at the VA for a while in Dallas. Now he works at a Boys and Girls Club. He's doing really good there. But yeah, he has messed up knees. I don't know what his knees are messed up from. He was in the Air Force. He was a medical person in the Air Force. What he was aiming for was to get radiology degree where he could just zap people. But I don't know. It always seems like everything comes down to one test or not making something on time or not getting a grade in something. And that kind of makes everything... It changes plans. It's not really... Vale isn't really leaning over that much. Wonder if I can apply my Hyper Dragon Ball Z skills to add a motion blur. I don't know if that's really part of the style. This seems like it shrunk. I don't know if it should shrink. Maybe I should move it back. Right about there. But it shouldn't get bigger. Should be about there. Okay, let me read some more chat. But yeah, welcome, it's Trap Productions. Hope you're having a good day. Sunny California. It's actually 39 degrees here in Texas, where I am. Dallas-ish area. It's really bright and sunny. Well, at least it was an hour ago, but it's deceptively cold. Spear Rocket says it is flat shading to say the least. Yeah, the dithering. Yeah, you can use another color. But this character's too far done to go back. Why? I don't want to. I think this is an abdominal muscle definition, slightly. Part of me wants to say it's a belly button, but it's a dragon. Dragons don't have belly buttons. Navels. Nobody says navel. Naval Air Base. Okay, this foot, I'm going to keep that in the same spot, just kind of turn it. Ah, that toe's way too long. Going to move the character forward. I guess I really won't know how this is looking until I add the color flats. Keep this hand here. I'm trying to guess where the bottom of the shorts are. I think I may have made the head bigger than it should be. Way bigger. Back. There. Wings. Wings would go up, I guess. Flare out during the attack. Pop up. Flap a little bit. And the tail would... Tail's here. What would the tail do on the turn? Would it move out and in? Like a figure eight? Wow. I don't know if I should do that though. That's a lot of work if I do that. It's a low kick. It's a low kick. Let's just make it kind of go up. Move forward and down a little bit, I guess. Don't want to put too many frames. I know that some people say you could just no, that's too much. You could just speed up the frame, the animation. It doesn't really work. You have to take the frames out. You can't just speed it up if you have a jab with 8 frames. That's not going to really work in gameplay. First time I noticed some frames were dropped from a game were Night Warriors. There's a code in the Sega Saturn version of Night Warriors to bring back the frame rate. to up the frame rate a little bit, I think. But it makes the game slower. It's like the game moves slightly slower. It's smoother animation, it just is slower. All right. It's like Street Fighter 3. Those games have a lot of frames. So the characters, they move smoother, but it's a slower game than Turbo 2 was. A lot of people didn't. I think a lot of people didn't care for that. I actually care for the slower paced Street Fighter, but after so many Turbo editions, people were expecting the game to get faster. Street Fighter Alpha is faster than Street Fighter 3 is, I think. People just like faster gameplay, but I'm more methodical. Either that or I just can't take in I'm too slow. If I have a plan, I need to set it up during the fight before I execute it. That's why I like playing Venom. You just set up all the cue balls and stuff, and then in the end you're like, yeah, got it. Alright, motion blur. Motion blurs are fine. Yeah. Maddie has motion blur to sex. Okay. Are you gonna tilt the torso forward? I probably should. Yeah, I should. I think I'll keep the head in the same position, but tilt the body. Thank you. That was smart. Doki says Vale's Anatomy. Vale. I still don't know how to say the name. VL. I'll say it the Japanese way. Vale. Beru Anatomy do the driving animation skills for the limits, the facts, the character is mostly entirely flat. Yeah, sorry, I was trying to read in with Japanese phonics. I guess, I don't know if phonics is right. Cantations? I don't know. Let's move. Okay, the hand's gonna stay there. I'll move the wing and I'll move the waist, this arm. Yeah. Okay, just turn it. I use the Roto sprite option that they have. That's about there. I'll lean this forward a little more. His head, Ash Crimson's head's about where his knee is. I guess Vale's head should be there. Vale. Dang it. Keep forgetting how to say it. I still don't know how to say it. Alright, let's move this hand. And this head back. Well, it probably tilted a little bit. Alright, turn it. No, not that turn. I'll have to clean this up. About there, I guess. And how does this look? Yeah, that looks like a kick. Yeah, all these lines are gonna have to be cleaned up. Well, I'll leave the cleanup for later. I really shouldn't be obsessing over all these lines, but that's kind of what I do. Should be focusing on the animation and the movement. Not really the sprite. The finished sprite, because it's not finished, it's a sketch. But yeah. Oh, Smurfy Out suggested to tilt. Thank you, thank you. I think it looks better. Because it did look static. Hope I don't get copyright struck for this. Maybe the hips should have went up a little bit. No, wait, that is generally the same area. The tube top. Hips are generally the same area. Bottom of the shorts, same area. Foot's planted, tail goes out. I need a background color. I don't know if I should do it now, make the background color now, because I still need to. Will it make a difference though? I'll use pink. This pink. Yeah, now I can't see the underdrawing. I think I can see the forms a little better though. Yeah, let's do some flats to see how it all comes together. Ah, shoot. Well, it won't matter. Yeah, it didn't matter. Ah, shucks. Yeah, once you start blocking in the colors, you can see the animation better. I've got my left hand on the keyboard down here, and I'm trying to feel out where the keys are. I have my thumb on the space bar and home row keys, and this is what I'm clicking on this for the eyedrop tool and the pencil line tool, and I set the G button for bucket fill, so a lot of moving around. Oh yeah, and my back and forth keys are frame back and forth for R and T. So I'm doing a lot of maneuvering around with these buttons. Inside of the ear. Alright, yeah, that looks like a sprite now. Character turned to the side a little bit. I'm assuming Veal is thinner sideways and forward, so... Ah, shucks. Did it again. I have to change this a lot. The contagious. Maybe a little too much of this boa. I think it's a boa. Or mane? Okay, more shoulder. I know at Blazing Strikes, the stuff I had to clean up was about this roughness. So if I could just get the animations blocked out at least this rough, I can render them completely later. I think that a lot of fighting games use unfinished sprites just to get a feel for how the game's playing. Because Blazing Strike I think they had a demo of the game at Evo a few years ago. It was unfinished, but you know, it just gives you an idea of how the gameplay works before the sprites are done. As someone who does the animations for sprites, seeing them in action before they're finished, just being able to use them, play the character beforehand, it's really inspiring. It makes you say, oh, I want to do more, oh, I can fix this, oh, I can make this look better. Yeah, I think this is riding up a little bit. Yeah, I still think I'm overworking this at the moment. But I just want to make sure that I have good reference for later. For I will know where everything is. Oh, shucks. Okay, that's pretty clean. Really like using the lasso tool. If I haven't said it before, I'm saying it now. Just watching all the Dipod live streams of him working. When it comes to sprite art, it's an amazing tool. Okay, I have to resist doing highlights and shades. I gotta keep doing more frames. I just gotta make sure this is clean. Alright. Oh, it is a belly button. Well, dragons are mysterious creatures. Motion blurs are fine. Yeah, I'll probably at light ones, I guess. I'll try not to overdo it. Want it to look snappy, but not too where you can't see what's going on. You don't understand what it is. So I've got a bottle of water and I've got my tea. What was in here? How fast is this going? 100 milliseconds. Guess I'll set the base at 500 milliseconds. I mean the neutral stance, right? One frame link. Save. Chat. Spear Rocket says, I believe he will. He's trying to block out a keyframe, the motion at least to have the idea of it. Yeah. Yeah, there's always adjustments. That's one thing I've noticed. That's why I don't understand. I'm impressed and I'm impressed by someone who can draw an animation on paper and then go straight to sprite work without having to just totally readjust things. Because there's things you see once it's in pixel art that aren't there when it's drawing. So when I saw that Akimon drew, I think he drew Felicia. He animated Felicia, Wolverine. Who else did he animate? Chun-Li, Third Strike Chun-Li, all on paper, just using a grid. And then they turned that into pixel art and it was a 1-for-1 transfer and it worked. That's impressive to me. But I think the grid was actually set up in pixel increments. So if something had to be 200 pixels tall, when he drew it on the paper, he had to make sure that it stayed within 200 of those grid squares. I think that's how the grid paper worked at Capcom. So when they scanned it in, they had a 1-for-1 pixel size for the grid. Which is interesting. I think that, I don't know, I'm curious about that. I kind of want to try it, but I have to alter and adjust and turn so many things when I'm doing pixel art. I don't know, I may have this wave. It'll go out and then this part will go in first and then it'll relax back to... We'll see. I haven't gotten to that part yet. But yeah, I like the motion so far. Looks good. Let me turn the pink back on where it's even easier to see. One frame. One frame hit confirm. Alright. I like this option. You can turn on the red and blue tint. Red's the previous frame and blue's the next frame. You don't get the color that you did, but you don't really need the color. You just need the idea of the silhouette and where everything was. It's easier to see with the colors. Another thing I like to do when a character attacks, they make an attacking sound, so I try not to keep their face a neutral expression. They either have to grit their teeth or something, or open their mouth. Smurfy said, yeah, that's why they took so many frames out of X-Men Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Yeah. It's not that noticeable, though, in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Like, if you look at X-Men Children of the Atom, man, that game's so smooth. And it's a CPS 2 game. CPS 3 games are smooth, too, but I guess there weren't that many characters, so they had space for that many frames. But yeah, it's a little slower. I actually prefer slightly slower gameplay. I just need to, when I'm getting beat up, I need to relax and not freak out. If I see a bunch of stuff flash on the screen, I'm like, I'm dead. I'm dead. Where's my opening? Where's my opening? That's why I have a hard time with the Marvel games. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, playing against someone on my own level, you know, it's basically just a tag in and out Street Fighter kind of with 3 characters. With someone who actually knows how to do one-hit kill combos, or I'm toast. I can't enjoy the game on that level. I don't practice combos really. I just learn specials and inputs and normals, and I'm like, okay, when do I block? When do I hit? Everything I play on a rock, paper, scissors, rock sort of mindset. That's why I do like Tekken, because the whole game's based around that. It's like, if they throw a high hit, I block high. If they throw a low hit, I block low. If they throw a grab, I tech the grab. That's 3 things you have to look for. And there's no chip damage, so if you do a perfect block, you don't lose any damage. Do a perfect throw tech, you don't lose any damage. So that's the thing that makes Tekken super balanced. You don't chip anyone out, and it's all, I guess it's about reads, but you get you learn the reads from playing the other character, or knowing all the characters. Like, okay, this is the combo that this leads into, or this is another variation of this combo, and you have to guess which one it is. But if you know it, because you study, I mean, you just have to block correctly and counter correctly. So yeah, I like the rock, paper, scissors kind of, paper, scissors, rock aspect of Tekken. Street Fighter, any game with chip damage, if you're aggressive enough, you'll beat the other person. I think it is a motivation to be more aggressive, but Tekken's really, it has strings of combos that just keep going. So if you don't block correctly, or you don't wake up correctly, you're gonna get hit and you're gonna get punished and you're gonna die. So I think that the reward of blocking or countering perfectly, and I think that not taking chip damage is a good thing. That really balances. It's kind of like the parry in Street Fighter 3. If you could parry these attacks, you won't lose any damage, but the risk-reward ratio is pretty high, so... But the fact that you have that tool that negates all damage all the time, that's really cool. Sorry I went off on fighting games. Smurfy says, yeah, okay. Spearrocket said, Venom is fun, he's animated darn well. Yeah! I like Venom. If I got skinny enough, I probably would have dressed up as Venom. It's just the way he plays. That's just a real cool. I always like the characters with hair in front of their face, like real long hair, like Cousin It sort of thing. It's kind of like a hood. That was a very cool design. Plus he has dark skin, so it's like, there's not that many dark skinned characters. Smurfy ass says, much better with the tilted torso. Yep, looks like more of the initial strike. Yep. Guess I should have this looping while I talk and read the chat. Use a blue from third row, less stressful on your eyes. Oh yeah, you're right. So here. Yeah, that I will burn your retinas out after a while, won't it? As long as it's not a color that's currently on the character, I guess. Which is weird because this is part of the color palette. I don't know where this color palette came from. If it was already in the character or... I don't know, it's working. It is working. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Didn't mean to strain your eyes like that. But yeah, usually I do sometimes use a bright pink color because it'll pop out against everything. Because this collar right here, you see this outline color, it's kind of blending in with the background. But I don't want to... Well, yeah, what about this? This? Oh, DeMarcus, that's an interesting take. It's kind of a dance beat for Ken Masters' thing. I don't know if I can use that. I think it's... Is it this color? I don't want to use any colors that are already on the sprite. Nope, it's not. Wait, is it? Nope, it's not. Yeah, it looks alright. Maybe this gray? Yeah, I like that. I think I could work with this. Oh, Riot Kitty's here. Skullgirl, okay. Looking neat. Sparkbell says Skullgirls does the same thing with their beta characters, just a bunch of grayed out sketches. Yeah, it's more about the silhouettes. It's always about that. How they read. Oh, I think the bottom of the... Nah, it's the bottom of the foot yellow. I don't think it is. I'll check that out later. Platformer 64 said, "Ah, interesting. Thank you for dropping by." Oh, I'll press play again while I read this. Becky says, "Hello, Proto. Is that a lizard lady?" And Spirox says, "Nah, dragon guy." Becky says, "Ah, okay." And Ominous as this says, "Hold up, that's a dude." Spirox says, "Yes." Smurfia says, "My man out in the streets looking fabulous." He said, "Yeah, Smurfia." Dragon. All right. There we go. Is this supposed to be heart-shaped, or... It kind of looks like that. Interesting. Seems like a Morgan reference. Because Morgan's wings seem like they attach low, but they're actually attached to her back. Oh, these are too. These are attached to his back. It's just they're hidden behind there. Yeah, I should do another in between. Startup with... How did they do startup? SNK. I think this is actually resting. And this is startup. Yeah, it's just barely anything. How many frames is startup? 2? 1? 2? 1? I'm thinking 2, since it's a low kick. So for us, I guess the foot would go back a little bit. I don't know if I should edit this or just redraw it. I'm thinking redraw it as much as I can and probably keep the head for the startup. I'll cut and paste the head, but redraw the rest. Frame 1, Yatterman, 1 jab. Probably 1. That's kick is fast. Okay, so, okay, I'll lock this. So this leg will kind of go back. Well, there's probably should have a blur, slight blur. So startup. 1 startup and then 1 in between, I guess. So how do you readjust your weight? Do you readjust it? Go back and then forward? Anticipation frame, that's what it is. Does it need an anticipation frame or does it just need an in-between? 1 frame of anticipation, 1 in between. That's what I'm thinking. Let's start. So I'll just pretty much kind of sort of trace this. Whose theme is this? CPS 3 Remix River City Ransom boss theme. Oh. Well, like I said before, I think the chest would probably, if I'm gonna make everything move to the right, I should go left a little bit instead of forward, so Lightning McQueen, you gotta go left to go right. I don't understand. How you go left to go right? That doesn't make any sense. Cars was a movie that I didn't expect to like, but then I ended up liking. I was very surprised. Sometimes you go to a movie on matinee price and you're like, okay, I'm bored. I guess I'll just go to the movies. What's there? Okay, Cars, sure. And you leave and you're like, wow, okay. Because there was one summer I was just going to the movies because I was bored. And I went to go see Hidalgo. I didn't watch any advertisements or anything. I was like, okay, sure, Viggo Mortensen's in a movie about a horse race, I guess. I don't even know if I knew it was about a horse race. So I went to see that movie and I was like, wow, that was cool. So I guess this leg would kind of go back. I've just got to find the knee. I don't know if that's too much anticipation. Okay. I'm gonna copy this foot. Lift it a little bit. I guess I'll turn it a little, quite a bit. Not too much. Maybe the toes should curl back. I think well, okay, I'll trace, but I think I will make veal go back a little bit more. It just doesn't seem like veal. I can't get the name right. Okay, that's too much. Weight needs to lean back. All right, so I'll keep the foot there, but this I'll move this back 2 frames. Maybe some more. So like 5. I should pull this leg out more. Just gotta draw this line. Here. Oh yeah, doctor told me I should do intermediate fasting. Intermittent fasting. I think I was doing that for a while, but then I just kind of that schedule just kept leaning, getting bigger. It's like, well, I'll stop eating at 8. I'll stop eating at 9. I'll stop eating at 10. And after a while, it just says, well, I'll just eat better. That didn't work. So yeah, I'm back to. My doctor suggested intermittent fasting between. Get all my meals in between 1 and 8 p.m. I think I can deal with that. I made a frittata yesterday. Was it frittiti? 6 eggs, beef, onion, bell pepper, heavy whipping cream. So this tail's gonna move too, huh? So what's anticipation? Should it already be moving back there, or should it? Well, the leg's moving back, so I guess the leg moves back, the tail starts moving back. and it just keeps going. But yeah, then I baked it in the oven for 2 hours. No, wait, not 2 hours. What the hell? For like, I think it was like 20 minutes, 400 degrees. I thought about doing cooking streams, just because I spend so much time cooking is like, whatever. I don't know if you do a stream of cooking. Nobody does cooking streams because they know if they mess up, then it'll be like, dude, you just ate trash. That was trash. Actually, I think the reaction to the, just, if it's bad, see how that would be pretty entertaining. It's like, bleh. Yeah, most food shows don't do that. I don't know, I just like how-to shows in general. Actually, I think that anticipation frame helps a lot. I think I could just edit this. I have the reference animations of the other person who was working on this, or people, but I don't know. I saw them, I looked at them, but nothing comes to mind. I'll just use my own judgment, I guess. This is how I edit heads to turn. So you take the mouth and the eyes, slide them to the right a little bit. And this is the wrong frame. Don't do that. I guess you take the nose and the snout and the eye. I guess the ear. And move it to the right. And I'd have to move this horn to the left, I guess. And just redraw this. Well, I guess the center. This one would change a little bit. I don't know, from a side view, yeah, they're supposed to do that. They're kind of flared away, so even if it's turned, it's kind of still that way. Maybe something more like that, huh? That's hardly the difference. Sorry, I got real quiet. I'm not even reading chat right now. Just trying to edit this to look right. Maybe I shouldn't have moved that horn. Right. That's enough for a startup. Okay, let's block out these colors again. See what we turn out with. Turn up with. My mistake. Phrasing. I could probably use the lasso tool right now. Do this faster. Right. What else? It's red. Jeez Louise. Right. Right, I think it's safe. Right, play. No, this has to be 102. Play. Back to chat. Back to chat. Okay. Not knowing anything about a movie or series is the greatest feeling. Number one reason why I never watch trailers or do research of the cast beforehand. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I was saying to myself, well, I'll just watch the teaser trailer. Teaser trailer's 2 minutes, and I don't know, it seems like there's like 50 scenes or shots, and you just stitch them all together. If you know how to tell, if you've watched enough movies or read enough books or just heard enough stories, you can stitch the narrative together in your mind. So it's more like I can looking at just some photos. I can probably look at some photos and go from that, but that's kind of why movie posters exist. It's like you see a movie poster and it's like, oh, what's that? And you just go and watch it. Yeah, it's probably more fun to just look at movie posters and decide if you want to watch the movie or not. I lost my music. This arm may go back too much. The chest and the stomach, they should probably start turning earlier. Well, probably a little bit more. Oh, I wanted it to go backward. Was yeah, I should probably say should have stayed kind of center where it was. Right. Oh, shucks. Wow, that's becoming my thing that I say a lot. Normally don't say that. I was watching, I was listening, a really long time ago, there was a rap album my brother was listening to. And, you know, they curse quite a bit in rap. And I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was Warren G or... It was a long time ago. I think it might have been Warren G. Or Mace or something. It was early 2000s. I think the Hulk movie, Ang Lee's Hulk, got released around that time when we were listening to it. And he said, there was just one moment that stood out because he was like, "Aw, shucks." And I was like, "Oh, wow, you didn't. Okay." The fake out got me. I was not expecting that. So sometimes I'm really starting to say "oh shucks" a lot now. Right. Ah, shucks, howdy, folks. You know what? This is moving pretty well. But it does need that in between. Smurfia says, yeah, I do the intermittent fasting all the time. I eat all my meals while I'm at work. I usually drink a lot of water and tea, so I'm hardly ever hungry. I think my younger brother, he lost most of his weight from just eating after work, which is weird. I don't think he eats at work. He usually sleeps most of the night, most of the morning. He gets up, goes to work at about 1:30, and he gets home at about 11. He eats his meal. It's usually done eating by midnight, I guess, or 12:30. I don't know, maybe 2 hours of eating. Then he goes to sleep, and then he works, and then he goes back and does that over and over. Weird thing is, when I was a kid, to actually get money, because my parents didn't give me a allowance. They were like, no. They did at first, which was weird. I didn't like the aspect of like, here, we're going to give you an allowance to know the wealth of, the value of money. Pay you $1 every week. And I was like, ooh. And as I got older, I don't know. They just expected me to do my chores. And I was like, but you started off paying me off. You started paying me off to do chores since I was a kid, and then you take it away from me. I'm like, what? And so I got most of my money from not eating lunch, because lunch was $7.50 for a week's worth of food. So I'd get $7.50 a week if I didn't eat. So, and if I got really hungry, I could take some of that and buy food from the, what is it called? Vending machine. I could just buy a bag of chips for 50 cents or something. I usually got trail mix or two not Granny Smith. Those 2-bit cookies from, it has an old lady on it, I think. I don't know. Not Famous Amos, or was it? I don't know. It was in a vending machine. 2 big chocolate chip cookies. But yeah, I think senior year I was 290 pounds. And I started Dr. Atkins keto diet, and I started pushing shopping carts for about 3 years. I had to be at work at 3 till 9, and I just stacked shopping carts, and there was a big hill that we had to push them up to get to the store. And I pushed about 9 to 12 at a time, and my thighs got really strong. I lost a whole lot of weight. I got down to 211 pounds that was by 2007. Yeah, in 2007 I was 210 or 12 pounds, man. That's still obese technically. Cause I got my body weight measure and they were like height 6'2", and it's like age and then weight and it's like 212, and they're like, oh, if you're over 209, you're obese. And I'm like, dang. All this work and I'm still obese. Alright. I've got to do it in between for this. Don't really want to, I don't know. Don't know if I want to blur. Maybe I'll slightly blur, but I don't want to do the Hyper Dragon Ball Z style of freeze on the frame and then freeze on a hit and then the blur goes away. Kind of just want to put it in between right here. So I'll duplicate this frame. Select all, Control A, delete. let's save that. But yeah, I think last summer with my leg problems, I was like, okay, I need to start working out because my feet are swelling up, and I don't like that. It's scary. So I started jogging and walking. I start with a jog as long as I can. Then after that, walk and recover, and then finish with a jog. Just to get my heart rate up. And that was working, and I did that when it warmed up. June. Started doing that in May or June, and then I stopped. Last time I went walking outside was Halloween, because I did a vlog outside walking. But it was like so dark. When the sun started going down earlier and it got cooler, I don't know. I could never find the perfect time. I was always trying to do a live stream or something. Time is a weird thing. Well, it's more about daylight than time. Oh yeah, another thing that scared me about going to the doctor yesterday was when I got there I got my blood work done, and I went to the doctor yesterday to just basically see what's up with my blood. What is, is something wrong with me? Am I dying? How long do I got, doc? I get there, and the secretaries, they're like, I walk in, they're like, right before I even say anything, they're like, oh, it's him. And I'm like, why would they say, oh, it's him? Oh, no, don't say that. And they're like, they knew my name. And I was like, oh, crud. Why do they know my name? I've only been here once. This is the second time I've been here, and they know my name. This can't be, this is either a good thing or a bad thing, but why would they know my name? Why would they even care what my name was? I know they see like hundreds of people. Why would they know my name? So that freaked me out. I was like, maybe I'm the guy dying. And they're like, oh, this is the guy they need to tell. Like, the doctor has to tell him he has cancer and he's going to die. And he needs treatment. And it's going to be super expensive. Or he has diabetes and his legs are going to fall off. So I was like, oh, crud. This is not good. And then they had me sign in and about my mental state and all that stuff, which is weird. I never knew that they would do that. I mean, they're medical doctors. Why would they want to know my mental state? But I get there, and then they have me sit around waiting in the lobby, just kind of freaking out to myself, like, I'm gonna die. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna die sick and alone and without money. And then the doctor shows up. He's like, well, you're fine. But it was just weird that they knew my name, and they were like, oh, it's him. He's here. I'm like, what? But then I got home and I listened to my voicemail, and they had called me and I didn't know it. So my voicemail starts off, I think from memory, my voicemail starts off, hello, this is Jared J. Lee, voice actor, artist, and all around okay guy. So maybe they were like, what? Why would anybody, what kind of leave a message is this? What? And I guess they looked me up and they were like, oh, this is the voice actor guy. Not the, oh, this is the guy with 3 months to live. So, Sure. That's my only conclusion. Either that or it's like, I don't know. I don't want to say the other conclusion. It's supposed to be doctor-client confidentiality. It's like the doctor's been talking about me, hasn't he? Only visit this guy one time. He's already talking about me. But no, I guess this. Yeah, I think it's my voice message that I left. All these secretaries are talking about me. But yeah, I had to go to the doctor. I just needed to know, what's up? Am I healthy? Do I have pre-existing conditions? Because I was in my mind, it's like, if I get COVID, do I have pre-existing conditions where it'd be really, really bad, or would it just be like, oh, you're pretty healthy. Okay. And that's another thing in my mind that I've been thinking about. So now I know, I didn't do that. I may be a little round, but I've taken okay care of myself. But yeah, it was weird. I get to the doctor, he's like, so how are you feeling? And I'm just like using it like a confessional or something. I'm like, oh, doc, chest pains and I'm about to die and my feet are swollen. And then he's just like, okay, he's an African bald doctor, and he's always wearing an M95 mask. So it was like, I've never seen his face, so if I was wearing a mask too, though, so. But they wanted, like when I signed in the first time, they wanted a photo of me. Like, they said, okay, here's the tablet, fill out all the information on it, and take a picture. So I had to take off the mask, and I'm like, ah. I don't know, I could never do anything like a normal person. I always do things to, I think I intentionally do things or answer questions wrong. Or, not really even wrong, just, differently, just to leave an impression on people. I remember one summer I just started wearing a tie. I was like, you know what? Nobody wears ties anymore. We got ties. Why don't I wear a tie? I mean, most shirts have collars. They're either a t-shirt or a collar. I'm like, they have collars so you can wear a tie, right? I'm gonna wear a tie. I'm gonna learn how to tie a tie, and I'm gonna wear a tie. Okay, conversation started like, hey, why are you wearing the tie? And I'm like, because, you know, it has a collar. I could wear a tie with it. It's kind of like if you wear a suit, just, you know, casually wear a suit. People's like, why are you wearing a suit? Go to a funeral, somebody die? You're like, no, just feel like wearing a suit. Ricky used to phrase, they say, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Which reminds me of a very funny Looney Tunes, Bucks and Daffy joke. Bucks and Daffy was a show, I think it was the name of it. It's a sitcom with Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny living together. And Bugs asked Daffy, why are you wearing a suit? And he's like,
I always heard, dress for the job you want, not the job you have.
And then Bugs went,
Daffy, you don't have a job. And he's like, well, that's why I usually walk around in the nude.
that was funny. I think these nostrils are too big here. Dang, I'm getting caught up in the details again. I gotta stop doing this detailed stuff. Well, that's one thing about me being a pixel artist. My OCD will kick in and animations will be better for it, I guess. Yeah, that was a cool TN Shinhan theme. But it's more like it's good for the stage, though. Sorry, that's just a random thought. Oh. Oh, okay. Let me read what's up. Spirit Rocket says, I think you good. Yeah, me too. Yeah. The doctor... Oh, I'm not even going to say what happened after I left the doctor's office. But I'll just say I was very relieved that nothing's wrong with me. I've got a lot of things I haven't done in my life, and a lot of things I want to accomplish. And I'm like starting to get over the hill, so it's like, well, I've probably got about 3 years of youth in me left before everything starts breaking down and I start looking my age and stuff. So, you know, it'd be good to, you know, get a family and a home and all that stuff. And it's like, can I do that? And it's like, I don't know. I put so much time into trying to be a successful voice actor and trying to be a successful artist and animator and stuff. I went to school until I went to school. I'll say, I think I've said this before. When the movie 2012 came out in 2011, I said, man, I hope the world doesn't end by 2012. If the world ends by 2012, I'd spend most of my life in school. Yeah, all my life would have been spent in school because I was still going to college in 2011. So I've been out of school since probably 2012 or 13. So 10 years. And I still didn't get my degree. I just spent money and time and stuff. Which is really depressing in a way. I said, because I've always said to myself, man, if I would have got a 9-to-5 job working at a factory or distribution center or something, I'd probably be making bank right now. I probably would have a house and stuff, but I was always like, no, I'm going to get my degree and work for a job to get my dream job as an animator or a voice actor. Mainly film and animation. I still don't have an animation portfolio. Closest thing I have to an animation portfolio is my Neko Majin Z animation reel that I have up. That's what got me the Blazing Strike job. At that point, back then, back in 2015, I think I've told this too, but I asked Balthazar, hey, I'd like to work on Hyper Dragon Ball Z, and he's like, do you have any animations? And he's like, I was like, no, I just have sprites that I've made. And he's like, no, sorry, you need to learn how to animate first. And I was like, I know how to animate, I just don't animate. But yeah, that was an eye-opening experience. You can't get the job unless you actually have proof of the skills, I guess. Which makes sense. I don't know. I guess in the end, I've always heard, I've known for years, like, that if you could get hired on a portfolio, and it's like, what do you need in a portfolio? And it's like, it's mostly demo reels. Same thing with acting. It's like, you could send them a headshot and a resume, but it's like, so, what do you got? Show us your skills. Show me your moves. I think I could reuse this hit. It's turned enough. But let's find the in-between, right? No, I meant to do this. No, not that. This. No, stop doing that. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. I wonder what I mean for dinner. And I've got to eat before 8, so I can't cook for an hour. I usually cook for like 2 hours. I don't know, it's just me cleaning up. It takes me a long time to cook. I cook and clean at once. Okay, let's find the in-between point. I don't know, I've learned that animations, you know, you can put the in-between right here, or you could put an ease in here and an ease out here. Something like that. That's basically what I'm doing, right? I mean, if this is the animation timeline, this is the first frame, and this is the actual kick. If this is the kick, this is the first frame. So far, I've added one right here, and I guess what I'm about to do is put a frame right here. And the recovery, I don't know if I need 2 frames of recovery or 1. I may just be able to reuse this frame and put it right. I guess this would be, and this would be the last frame again. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. We'll see. We'll see. I think I'm overthinking this. Don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. Well, if this is the starting frame and this is where the kick is going to be. Anticipation frames, base, anticipation, actual kick. I guess I could... I'm thinking somewhere... I'm thinking in right here, but it might be better to be up here. I don't know. Maybe I could do another anticipation. Maybe this foot could be up. Because it moved back. But it never actually... Did it? Did it lift up? It lifted up a little. Okay, let's see what Ash did. No, he just lifts his foot. Well, there is a slight... If this is the end, slight anticipation. And then he just lifts his foot and recovers. Yeah, let's make it here. Something like that. Anyway, let me read what you guys have been saying. Yeah, Smurfy said you could do what I did when I started running. I would run for one light post to another, walk for 3, run one, now repeat. I ended up getting a climber. My brother ended up getting me a climber. That works really good. I need to get a regimen of that, just like I did when I was doing my walking. I haven't did that. Because I'm not sure if I should do it before I go to sleep or to wake up, when I wake up. But either way, I have to take a shower afterwards, because that's gonna make me break out in a sweat. So... yeah, I'll start using it. But I'm hungry now. Okay, after I do this last frame, I'm gonna have to make something to eat. But yeah, I need to add exercise back into my routine. And now that I don't have to go outside to do it, I can work out anytime I want in the garage. I don't have any excuses, so no excuses are good excuses. Yeah, I guess that works. Smurfia says, I can run about 2 miles straight now without hardly getting tired. Golly. Wow. I can only, from timing myself, I can only jog for about 2 minutes. No, I think I got to 2 minutes and 40 seconds straight without stopping. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. That's even pace. I just don't run because I don't want to mess up my joints. I hear about, you know, joint pain later, and I'm like, I don't have any pain now, and it's like, everything just seems like it's gonna creep up on me. I don't wear bifocals or anything, but I don't know, I got everything lit up around me. I'm scared. I'm not scared, I'm just like, I don't want anything taken away from, I don't want my abilities taken away from me. My youth, I gotta hold on to it. Smurfia, so you guys know me because I'm a voice actor, or I'm the guy that has 3 months to live. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like they know me because I'm a voice actor. I'm the guy they have to break the news to. Oh yeah, we want to tell them over the phone, but no, we have protocol. We have to tell them face to face. You may want to sit down for this. PB Lover 96 says, bro, I feel ya. I spent 2.5 years trying to get a bachelor's before I changed majors. Yeah. Yeah, I ended up just like, no, I'm just I actually started failing stuff, like trying to learn Spanish, because they say, oh, you need a foreign language, and I'm like, I don't know if I can learn a foreign language. And even though I picked up a lot of words and stuff, I just couldn't. Apparently, this is when school started going digital, and you have to do digital courses, and I was just like, I was doing them, and I even got a tutor the second season. You know, to make sure I had help. And it's like, they said, oh, you haven't been turning in your work. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I do work after school with my tutor and stuff. And they're like, no, I haven't been getting your assignments. I don't know how the program was set up or something. I guess I had to press after I did my lesson, I had to press okay or something after I did it or something. I don't know. It's crazy. I just know I failed Spanish like 4 times. I was like, okay, if I need a foreign language to get my degree, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to learn a foreign language, so I don't think I'm going to get my degree. I kind of felt the same way about math. They were like, okay, you need at least algebra, college algebra. I was like, and college algebra is what kept me from, I had to take a intermediate algebra or something, because I couldn't pass that part of the test. And they said, but then I finally passed that part of the test, and I was able to take college algebra, and I took college algebra about 3 semesters. The first 2 semesters were with the same teacher, and at the end of the second semester, on the last day, when I said I had to drop the class, the teacher said, maybe you should take intermediate math. And I was like, it was a gut punch just hearing that. It's like, because I was like, I've spent like 6 years taking intermediate algebra. But, you know, I don't like throwing stuff in people's face like that, because, you know, it's like, I don't know, but that made me mad. It's like, oh, you're not doing good in my algebra class. Maybe you should take intermediate. And I'm like, I took intermediate since I started college here. I've taken it for 6 years. 6 years for a 2-year degree. 7 years for a 2-year degree. I'm just that bad. I don't know, I was working at the same time, so my focus was all over the place. But yeah, then I took the summer class, which was half a semester. I got a B. So, take that, B! Yeah, that was super irritating. I hate it when they do that. It's like when I was going to UTA and my Neo-Renaissance art teacher was like, I was failing the class and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to drop the class. And they're like, well, you're gonna get a C. You still get a C. And I'm like, no, I need a B for my degree. And they're like, well, some people just aren't ready for a university. Have you tried going to a junior college? And it was the same thing. It's like always the same thing they tell me. I just want to face palm. And I'm like, just thinking about it makes me irritated. It's like, oh man, dude, you don't know anything about me. You don't know what I've been through. Oh boy. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely dropping this class because I think the college teachers in general, I don't think all teachers, but I think college teachers are paid by the students they have in their class. So when they start dropping, they're like, oh, I'm losing students, I'm losing money. But yeah, for me, it's not, I don't know if, I just don't have the focus for it, I guess. I try. And by try, I mean I give it an attempt. I just attempt until I get it right. And yeah, never give up. Well, I guess I did give up in the end, didn't I? Anyway, back to the animation. Smurfy, on a light attack, 1 frame of recovery should be enough. Okay. Yeah, 1 frame of recovery. I'll do that. Rakity says, kick! I will animate the kick. Sorry. Okay, let's get this arm back. So this is where the shoulder is, and this is where the shoulder is here, so I guess the shoulder would be here. This is where the body is, this is where the body is there, so I guess the body will be over here. So there's a shoulder, and there'll be another elbow here. Hands on the hip. Go here, here. Thumb. Fingers. Love it when a plan comes together. So, I guess, what about here? Not too much of, I don't want too much of a smear. Let's grab this leg from here. Mostly need the foot. Ooh, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I need to watch that show. They have it, the whole series, the entire series, legally uploaded. It's one show I wanted to watch as a kid. It's just a really cool name. And it's based off of a series of stories called Mesozoic Age or something like that. Tales of the Mesozoic or something. I guess I'll draw some speed lines. You know what? I'm starting to color in things a little too early. Should just focus on this animation. Okay, the end of the tail's here. Then it's here, so this one will be about here. Yeah, doing in-betweens, using keyframes and in-betweening has really helped my animation a lot. When you animate straight ahead, that's when things really start to fall apart. That's what I've noticed. It really helps you keep your form. It takes a lot of guesswork out of animating. If you could just see the in-between point automatically. Right, like I said before, I need to keep this backlit anchored to the ground. So I'm going to draw the bottom of these smear lines just so I can see them better. So I am going, well, I'm thinking about copying this leg. No, I'll redraw it. I'll redraw it. Just gotta find the in-between point. All right, we got a leg. Oh, I forgot these feathers. Or scales. Sorry, I've been working on too much Hyper Dragon Ball Z. I'm making these figures too big. Alright, see, you can see the wings, right? The in-between point. So these are the tips of the wings, so I put one right here. And actually, it's more like it's turning inward, not really flapping. Alright, that works. Okay, where would this wing be? It's the tip of that wing. It's somewhere over here then. I need to clean this up a little bit. Now I'll just redraw the bow apart. Is that CPS 1? That's Incredible Hulk's name. I just don't see the name. Yep, CPS 1. Yeah, it did remind me of Street Fighter 2. And just to change it up a little, I'll curve the head up, and then it'll move down on the kick. Okay. Well, I guess I didn't curve it up very much, did I? Don't know if this noticeable. Actually, let me erase this a little bit more. I may have drew this too low. You know, that whole doctor visit story out of the way. I have to go back in April, so, you know, I guess I'll have a better attitude knowing that I'm not knocking on death's door, you know? Unless something happens before then. Man, I really like this thing, and it's not just because I worked on the character for the majority of it. It's because it's a good theme. I just like the peel-off game. It works for the stage and it works for the characters. Alright, let's block in these colors, see how everything looks. Oh, I forgot the arm guards. I mean, wristbands. Wristbands. Yeah, I don't think this character's moving forward enough. Maybe it's a little too in between. Well, I guess the wings and the tail are in the right spot. Not too sure about anything else. Oh, okay. Okay, it's blocked in. Let's see how this animates. Okay, what if I... Huh. Oh, how did this get down here? Okay, that makes more sense. I guess it would hold on this a little bit, so I guess 200. And just to see how, if the recovery's back here again, I guess I could duplicate this and test it, see how it looks over here. Not bad. The wings are moving smooth, the tail's moving good. Maybe this... I don't know if it should be 200. No, definitely not 200. Yeah, that's a good idea of how it should look. Yo, Diller Draws is here. I haven't talked to you in a long time. Diller Draws says... Let me go back some more. PB Lover 96 says, for me, I just learned that I hated traditional classroom settings in university and didn't do well in them. But when I work in a lab and shop environments for projects rather than tests, it was better. Yeah, I noticed that too, especially with art. I think science class too. Just, I don't know, there's something about standing around. Standing seems more productive, I guess. I don't know. Standing and working, it just seems like you get more done. I guess it's a mobility thing, maybe blood circulates better. I know that when I'm in the garage working on art, when I was doing those big cosplays I was working on, those were really fun to do. It's just that I couldn't document it, so... Well, I could, but video form. I don't know if I could stream it, though. Diller Draw says, how far apart should you keep frame if you're doing 24 FPS? It depends on if you're going to use twos. I would use twos for most of it, and then when you need it to really make something smooth or get the point across, go to ones. But it's the same principle. But if you're animating 24 frames per second and you're mostly using twos, it's kind of like working on 12 frames per second. I like 24 no matter what. I don't animate on 12. I like 24 because then you get a smooth background movement no matter what. Because the background could keep moving at 20 on ones and then the character can move on twos. Because if the background's moving on 12 frames per second, just like the character, it kind of makes the, I don't know, it ruins the flow of everything. It makes everything look like it's not moving right. But I think it works the same way. It's just, you keyframe it out, and depending, if the animation is too short, you add more frames. If it's going too long, you take away frames. But I guess after a while of working that way, you kind of develop the timing in your mind. I'm used to, like, this program, I'm not used to working in milliseconds. I don't know what I can't experience a millisecond. Is it a 12th of a second? Is it a 24th of a second? I don't know. I'm just not used to that. But that's the standard is 100 milliseconds. I like that you could screw up through the animation like this. That's cool. I could really use a real recovery frame. Right here. Maybe I can edit this. Instead of making him move back, I'll have the leg. I'll just take this leg away. And move everything forward. That's a cool thing. But I want the wings to stay in the same spot. The tail. Yeah, let's move all of this. And the anchor points the toes, so I guess I'll keep the toes in the same spot. Now let's move at the knee. No, wait. Leave the wing alone. Leave the wing alone. Alright. I guess I really wanted to snap back. The knee would raise up a little bit. It would be like this before stepping the foot down again. That knee's too low. My entire thigh's too low. Wait. I'll just redraw it. Maybe about here. Bend in. Just snap the kick, like kick out, re-cage the kick, and then set the foot down. Jeez Louise. Okay, there's a gap in there. Captain Commando. Alright, that kind of works. The tail probably, it should recover a little different. Can't repeat that. The wings, I'm okay with the wings being basically the same. No, I'm not. I changed my mind as soon as I said it. Yeah, I always argue with myself over editing a frame of animation or just drawing a new one. Because I just can't figure out if it takes longer to draw a new one or if it takes less time. Alright, this should look better. Yeah, I need to redo the tail. At least part of it. It's almost 7, so I'm going to yeah, let's redo the tail. I really don't like that. One thing I like about the A-Sprite bucket tool, you can use the bucket tool instead of having to highlight something and press delete. It's much faster. But yeah, this, just like the leg, how the leg whipped back in, I think the tail should do the same thing. So it's going to be like this, but it's going to come back in like that. Don't know if I should. Wait, let's. Yeah, I'll use the bottom line. That's the bottom line. All right. Maybe a little too thick. Cool, cool, cool. So how does this look now? Save? I can work with that. Let's not hold on this. Set that back to 100. Don't know how many frames this is. Okay, that's 100. Yeah, I guess it works. I like the way the wings are flapping there, moving up and down. Tail whips back in place. I may... No, that's good enough. Don't want to overdo the tail. Tail animations can go wild. But yeah, 1 frame of recovery right here. But I need to eat. I only have 1 hour to eat. So, I've got to say goodbye to everyone. I'll keep this going just to be more interesting than my face. Kicky boy, says Spear Rocket. Spear Rocket says, yeah, hope that second appointment goes well. We've decided that I told my doctors I need to lose weight, and I said, it's easier for me to do things when I set goals. What would be a reasonable goal? And he said 2 pounds a month. And my next appointment's in April, so he said, so 6 pounds, lose 6 pounds. And I'm like, okay, I could do that. The funny thing is, I can lose weight pretty fast. On keto, with a keto diet and intermittent fasting and working out, I could lose 2 pounds in a week. At least starting out. It always starts off really good, and then I hit a plateau. So, yeah, I could probably lose 6 pounds in a week. So, if it's 6 times 3, 24. No way I can lose 24 pounds in 3 months. Actually, I have, but I was only eating raw foods, uncooked food, and I did that for 6 months. And I think I lost like a lot. But anyway, yeah, animation's going. I gotta get out of here. I don't know. Let's see how this looks on 100. No reset. Just that's not bad. It actually looks better without the pause. You just mash the button. I like the way the back foot's kind of curving. This part anyway. Up here, I don't know if it's jittering or what. But yeah, next step for this is rendering. Either rendering or just Yeah, it's definitely rendering, but it's going to be more... Hey, Bale's dancing to the music. It's going to be more fixes to the motion. The motion looks pretty good. Maybe clean up the hands or areas that are kind of weird. Smurfia says, yeah, it's cool how the peel-off theme actually feels like a character and stage theme. A lot of those themes feel like one or the other. Yeah, that's true. I agree. Okay, I would like to thank Smurfia for his insight. I'd like to thank Spear Rocket for Spear Rocket's insight and advice and guidance. I'd like to thank Dillard Draws for dropping by. Dillard Draws was the first person to ever give me a super chat, and I've never forgotten that. So, be nice to people. Give them super chats. If they're like me, they won't forget it, because money leaves a lasting impression on your wallet and your time. Okay, what do we gotta do? I'd like to thank PB Lover 96. Yeah, good insight. Like the working at a university and the bachelor's degree and stuff. Yeah, school's just weird, dude. Riot Kitty was here. I don't know if Riot Kitty's still here, but I appreciate every time Riot Kitty shows up, because Riot Kitty brings to Riot. Kaz42. Thanks, Kaz42, for dropping by. Platformer. Dropped a comment. I appreciate it. It's good for the algorithm. Who else was here? This is Truck Productions. Thanks. Really appreciate your support. Always there. Thanks. Won't take it for granted. Kind of do, I guess. Well, I never expected, but I'm always surprised. I kind of expected, but I'm always surprised. I don't know. One of those. Pick one of those. Doki. Thank you. Thank you, Doki, for the anatomy advice. And yep, that's everyone. Some party music right here. All right. So, thank you, everyone. For, keeping me company. This gets boring. Keeping a collaborative process and just having a conversation helps a whole lot, and it keeps me from getting bored. Even if I focus on the artwork a little more, just having you guys and gals around, all of you around, helps me just work better. It makes me happy. So until next time, be seeing you. Stay out of trouble. Goodbye.